Part 2 of lesson 39. Let's go back to our notes. As a review, your vocabulary, we've already used the word conjugate, and we've talked about real solutions versus imaginary solutions using I. We've talked about U substitution already, and we are going to do some box method or some foiling, depending on how you, whatever makes your heart beat. And we're going to continue to do some factoring. But this is part 2. You've already done example 1 and 2. Now we're going to do example 3. So I'm going to title this example 3. Let's mark up the text again. Write a polynomial, P. It's going to be our function, P, with the lowest possible degree. I'm highlighting this, but I'm not actually going to highlight this because lowest possible degree that has given solutions, and they give us solutions, and we're going to find the lowest possible degree. Because you can have as many multiplicities as you want and have any number degrees. So some person was once like, can I have a 1/1,000,000th degree with these solutions? And we had to say yes. So let's just be specific, and we're going to talk about the lowest possible degree. Explain how you generated each answer. This part, when we do the explanation, when we do this in class, this is where you really get to explain. But I'm going to show you how we do this. All right, here's the example. Oh my goodness. So if we have solution, say we have a solution, and then we have our factor. If I had x is equal to 1 as my solution, my factor would be x minus 1. We've practiced this lots before. If my solution was 0, my factor would be x minus 0, or it would just be x. So we're going to start with our solutions, and then we're going to move them over to factors. Sound good? Let's take a look at what we have. Our solution is x is equal to -1. That means our factor is x plus 1, the other one. If our solution is x is equal to positive 2i, then our factor is x is equal to negative minus 2i. If our other solution is x is equal to negative 2i, then our factor is x plus 2i. Now, what do you notice about these two factors here? And if you watched the first video and you took notes on it, you would know that it is the conjugate. So you bet we are going to be multiplying those conjugates. Okay, so we're still writing a polynomial P. It's going to look like this. P of x is equal to something. This is P of x. That's how you read that, with the lowest possible degree. So P of x is going to equal all of our factors multiplied together. And I think like unit 2, we would practice this. So let's multiply all of our factors. X plus 1, x minus 2i, and x plus 2i. And now we're going to use our good box method skills to factor this. Oops, that's not the eraser. All right, let's multiply these two together first. I'm going to use a box method. In my scratch side, I have x minus 2i. I have x plus 2i. X times x is x squared. Negative 2i times x is negative 2xi. And then 2i times x is positive 2xi. And then negative 2i times positive 2i is negative 4i squared. Here is the important part when you combine like terms on the inside. We have x squared. Here's a positive version of this term. Here's a negative version of this term. So they will go to 0. Now we have 4i squared. Or x squared minus 4 times negative 1. Or x squared plus 4. Okay? So this area is going to be x squared plus 4. And then let's copy down the rest of our problem. P of x is equal to x plus 1 and x squared plus 4. This is great because if you factored this using quadratic formula, or you would find factors, you would be able to get your answers back, which is awesome. Let's continue a box method here and box method these guys. So I have x plus 4 and I have x plus 1. And again, this is in my scratch work side, x cubed, 4x, x squared, and 4. I'm going to combine like terms, x cubed plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. Oh, plus 4. Okay, so now I'm going to write this p of x is equal to x to the third plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. Awesome. So this is our polynomial with the lowest possible degree. So the lowest possible degree is a degree of 3, and we have 3 solutions. Coincidence? 3 solutions? And x equals the 3? Coincidence? I do not think so. 3 solutions to the power of 3. Okay, given that, let's practice this again. And now we have 2 solutions. So what do you think? I want you to predict right now how many solutions or what degree? What degree? So you can predict right now. What degree do you think this is? We have 2 solutions. Let's do our t-chart again. This is the first step, in case you missed it in the first example. Solution and factors. We have x is equal to -2, so our factor is x plus 2. We have x is equal to positive 3i, so our factor is x minus 3i. What are we missing here? We're missing the conjugate. We need a conjugate in order to take our imaginary complex number back into the real world. So what would our conjugate be? Our conjugate would be x plus 3i. And so our answer, our solution would be -3i. So very, very, very important. We only gave you a positive solution. If it has an I value, this is where you annotate and take notes. I gave you a positive 3i. You need a -3i so that there is a conjugate here. Write that down. Okay, so for the polynomial, we're going to have p of x. Now that we have 3 factors. Oh, you thought it was 2 factors. It's 3. We're going to multiply all these together. X plus 2, x minus 3i, and x plus 3i. All right, box method away because we're going to do these guys first. I'll do it in blue. X minus 3i, x plus 3i. X squared minus 3xi. You can pause the video and then check your work here because I'm just gonna show my work. And then -9i squared. So here's where it's important to combine like terms again. So you're going to combine all the insides. This is a negative version. This is a positive version. And you have -9i squared, which is equal to -9 times -1, which is equal to x squared plus 9. Oh, very important. X squared plus 9 times x plus 2. Those of you who are big fans of foiling, we can FOIL right now. First, x times x is x cubed. Last, x times 9 is 9x. Insides, or did I say last? I meant outsides. Outsides, now we have the insides, 2x squared, and last, 18. All right, I'll put this in standard form. Standard form is where all the powers are decreasing. You can annotate that in your notes as well. P of x. Awesome. So I would summarize, I would even go back through this video, and the parts that were really, really important were this conjugate part, we only gave you 1 solution and you need to also fill in the conjugate for that solution as well. So if you have a positive 3i, you need to fill in the -3i as well. So please fill in your summary. Bring your questions to class tomorrow. See ya.